I wasn't originally planning on making this video, but I was asked over on Twitter how Fortnite makes money, and it's actually a really interesting business model to look at and a ridiculously successful one, like over $1.5 billion a year successful. I'm assuming you're all familiar to some extent with Fortnite Battle Royale. If you are not, it's a 100-person Battle Royale game where they go onto an island and fight it out until one person stands. It has seen ridiculous growth in the last 6 months, and a lot of that is due to the fact that it's free to play. It's worth clarifying or reiterating that I'm only talking about the Battle Royale mode. The main game mode of Fortnite is actually Save the World, and that does cost money, but I'm only going to be talking about Battle Royale in this video because that's the mode that's seen all this growth and all these amazing numbers, and that is the mode that is free to play across all platforms. So how do they get $1.5 billion from a free-to-play game? And that is where the in-game purchases come into play. And the in-game purchases are purely cosmetic. It is not a pay-to-win game. There are no advantages to paying for these items. They are purely cosmetic, like skins or pickaxes or a different glider, things along those lines, so they are able to cash in on the customers willing to spend money without necessarily giving a disadvantage to the customers that aren't willing to spend any money. And that's really where the heart of the trade-off is. It's you want users, but you also want money. And that's when you compare it to other games, you can see a big difference here. So here is a chart that's worth looking at. You can see that Fortnite on console specifically is still beat out by FIFA and Call of Duty because those games not only cost money up front, but also have in-game purchases that actually give the user an advantage. So they have a lot of different places where they're getting money from those users. But because of that, they don't have nearly the user base that Fortnite does right now. Now let's dive a little bit deeper into that $1.5 billion a year number. So that is based on their revenue from February, which was reported to be $126 million. Multiplied out times 12 comes out to a little over $1.5 billion. However, do note that is all based on or assuming that it's going to be a constant amount of money for the next 12 months. But realistically, that $1.5 billion a year number is not actually accurate. Fortnite is seeing ridiculous growth right now. Within 2 weeks of being released, Fortnite Battle Royale had over 10 million players. Right now, they're sitting around 45 million players with 2 to 3 million concurrent players, and they actually increased the free-to-play console market segment by over 300% since last year. That's wild. Another interesting fact related to Fortnite's success is that Activision stock has dipped over 10% in the month of March because of Fortnite's growth, and that's a result of a loss of $6 billion in market value for Activision. And even games like NBA 2K18 are seeing a downward trend because of the rapid and astronomical success of Fortnite. But back to my point about the $1.5 billion figure not being accurate, there's two main reasons that I can't confidently say that's how much money they'll make this year. They did make $126 million in February, but there are very important things to note for the future. The first of which is their growth is very unpredictable. If they continued growing at an exponential rate for the next 11 months, they would make a lot more than $1.5 billion in 2018, and they are on that track right now. But it's also worth noting that they could fall down as quickly as they came up. It's been 6 months and they are now the most popular game in history. In 6 months from now, who knows if it'll be 10 times as big or 10 times as small because of a bug or a lawsuit or something like that. So it's very unpredictable where it's going. The $1.5 billion is probably not accurate. It could be a hell of a lot more, or it could be even less if something bad happens. That's it for this video. What do I think? I think that Fortnite's going to continue to grow, not necessarily as fast as it has in the last 6 months. One, just because a lot of the players that would play Fortnite are already playing it, but also just because it's hard to keep adding features and adding users at the pace they are currently. I personally love Fortnite. I play it every day. It's an awesome game, but I could definitely see how a couple missteps in a row or a couple issues could reduce the rate at which they get new users and users are coming back in the future. Only time will tell. I want to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about that revenue number for February and on a yearly scale. It's an absolutely astronomical number for a single video game. Very impressive, very awesome. Love Fortnite. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to see more content. And as always, stay classy.